and welcome to South Asia Today, a show that provides you the glimpses of South Asia. I'm your host Shivangi Mishra. Let's begin with the headlines first. Authorities construct riverfront in Kupwara to boost tourism. Human rights activist criticizes Pakistan for indoctrinating people against India. And Kapileshwar Temple in Odisha's Bhubaneswar to come under ASI Protected Monuments list. Let's begin the show. Arson, vandalism, plumes of smoke and gunshots. All hell broke loose in Pakistan as former Prime Minister Imran Khan was arrested on corruption charges following months of trial and investigation. Khan supporters stormed government buildings, vandalized properties, and clashed with security forces. These unprecedented scenes, described as a black chapter by the Pakistan Army, marked a fresh low in Pakistan's political discourse that has been plagued by months of political and economic crisis. Why has almost every Pakistani Prime Minister met a similar fate? What role does Pakistan's army have to play in the deadly unrest? Let's have a look at the situation in ground in Pakistan.
Immediately following his arrest, the country descended into chaos and anarchy ensued. Never seen before scenes surfaced as Imran Khan's supporters cried foul play and vowed vengeance.
लिवागी ने जो किया है बहुत बड़ा जुल्म किया है और हमारी रेड लाइन को इन्होंने क्रॉस किया है अगर हमारी रेड लाइन को इन्होंने क्रॉस किया है तो ये ना समझे कि हम खामोश बैठेंगे हम इनका वो हशर करेंगे ये पूरी जिंदगी याद रखेंगे
The house of an Army Corps commander was attacked. The Radio Pakistan building was set ablaze, and Khan's supporters aggressively sought retribution from the Pakistan Army, alleging that Khan's arrest was a politically motivated act of army handiwork.
خان د پاره مو ځان د خپل سلیوي ورکولې ته مونږ تیار مو خپل کاروبار بند کړی دی مونږ راوتی یو کني واحد ز سهارا هم د کورس کوم د کنار څخه ورې یو غټو د شپې خرو خو اني ټایم اره یو سرکاري امارات معاصره مونږ کولای شو ان شاء الله ته تیار یو کسل ولي ک 300 ولي ک زر ولي ک څومره کارکونان ولي مونږ بدا کوو
It is alleged that Imran Khan and his spouse were given land worth millions of dollars by a real estate mogul via a charitable trust. Imran Khan has denied any wrongdoing. In the eyes of his loyal supporters, Imran is beyond criticism and can do no wrong. Opposing voices, however, maintain that Imran Khan was among the top corrupt leaders while in office and deserves to be barred from public life. While Khan's arrest led to an unprecedented level of unrest in the country, this wasn't the first instance of a former prime minister being arrested in Pakistan. Nearly all prime ministers in the last few decades have either been found guilty of corruption or have fallen victim to the powerful Pakistan Army, the country's deep state, which holds great sway in almost every political and business sector of the country. There are many who believe that the Pakistan Army, whose intervention in the country's political affairs is no secret, and which has previously staged several military coups, is conspiring to stage one more.
If the army steps in, and that might be the last resort, and it might happen in the next couple of days for all we know, then the problem is what magic wand does the army have to sort these matters out? Are they going to shoot at people? What are they going to do? How are they going to fix the economy?
The army has ruled Pakistan directly for nearly 33 years in the little over 75-year history of the country. It is also accused of undermining democratic institutions and manipulating the political process to consolidate its own power. Imran Khan's arrest and the subsequent outbreak of chaos coincides with the massive economic crisis the people of the country have been grappling with for the past several months. The country is yet to recover from the trail of destruction left by the floods last year. Inflation is at an all-time high. Forex reserves have depleted, and the number of countries lending a helping hand is rapidly decreasing.
This is how the spiral has gone out of control in Pakistan. They have the largest contiguous irrigation network in the world. Till about 2 or 3 years ago, they had surplus wheat, which they would send out. Today, they have to import 3 million tons of wheat. You know why? Because the acreage under wheat has been reduced. They don't have enough fertilizers. They don't have enough water.
Even China, Pakistan's so-called all-weather friend, has reprimanded the country for not being proactive enough in dealing with both immediate and long-term challenges. Experts believe that Pakistan's turbulent political situation can deteriorate further if the ruling government fails to take effective action immediately. But above all, it is imperative for Pakistan to resolve Khan's situation, for if it is left unaddressed, it can escalate into unprecedented levels of turmoil and tumult.
Jammu and Kashmir is one of the most popular tourist destinations in India, which is visited by tourists not just from India but abroad as well. Authorities, therefore, keep taking several steps to improve the region's infrastructure and promote offbeat budding tourism destinations in the territory. Moving on the same lines, Jammu and Kashmir authorities are constructing the riverfront to promote Kupwara as a budding tourism destination in Jammu and Kashmir. The Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir is blessed with scenic views, lush green valleys, abundant forests and plenty of water resources. A budding tourist destination in the valley is that of Kupwara, which is abundant with beautiful water resources and many riverfronts. With the motive of promoting Kupwara as a budding tourist destination, authorities are constructing a riverfront in the district.
वो चाहता है टूरिज्म को बढ़ावा मिलेगा यहाँ पर तो इससे रोजगार के मौके खुलेंगे हमारे जिले में रोजगार का इससे बहुत बड़ा एक फायदा यूथ को मिलेगा यूथ चाहता है क्योंकि टूरिज्म से ही इस वक्त जो हमारा यूथ है वो अपना रोजगार कमा सकते हैं चाहे बंगस को डेवलप करने में जिस तरह हमारे डीसी साहब ने कदम उठाया है जिस तरह बंगस दिंगियारी या जो वाटर जो हमने इससे पहले जो हमने विंटर कार्निवल किया था दिंगियारी में हम चाहते हैं डीसी साहब से हम अपील करते हैं आपकी चैनल की वसादत से यहाँ अपने टूरिज्म के डायरेक्टर साहब है जिस कुफवारा में आपने इसको एक बहुत ही बेहतरीन नजारा दिख रहा है इस वक्त जो वाटर फ्रंट यहां पर बनाया है
Being constructed by the district administration of Kupwara, this riverfront is being constructed at the banks of Lolap Nala. The construction work is being carried out by the Rural Development Department in collaboration with Geology and Mining Department Kupwara and is named as Amrit Sarovar Riverfront. Local tourists are praising the efforts undertaken by the authorities as promoting Kupwara as a tourism destination will also boost employment and commerce in the region.
में हमने कुपवाड़ा में वाटरफ्रंट बनाया, गूज में वाटरफ्रंट बनाया, खुमरियाल भी बनाया और सिर्फ पानी को रोका नहीं तो उसके साथ जो एरिया है उसमें अच्छे से उसको ब्यूटीफाई किया, उसको पार्क कराएं। आप देख रहे हैं कि गूज में और कुपवाड़ा में हेल्पल में बहुत अच्छे वाटरफ्रंट्स बने हैं उसमें एलईडी ट्रीज़ हमने लगाए हुए हैं जो एक अच्छा सा वहाँ पे जो है वो ब्यूटिफिकेशन का काम कर रहे हैं। गूज में आने वाले दिनों में आप देखेंगे कि अच्छा सा लेज़र शो हमारे वाटरफ्रंट के सामने होने वाला है। म्यूनसिपल कमेटी म्यूनसिपल काउंसिल कुपवाड़ा ने उसके लिए हमें काफ़ी मदद की, चेयरमैन साहब ने मदद की। तो इन सारी जो है इस प्रोसेस में हम चाहते हैं कि कुपवाड़ा टाउन हो, हंदवाड़ा टाउन हो, आसपास के एरियाज हो, उसको किस प्रकार से ऐसे एरियाज बना के कुपवाड़ा के एक यूएसपी डेवलप करे और टूरिज्म स्पॉट्स बने।
A number of recreational activities are also being constructed near the riverfront, like an open gymnasium, cafeteria, a walkway, and a floating restaurant. Once this riverfront is completed, it will present a picturesque scenic because of lush green forests and gushing water of Nala Lolap and will become an attraction for local residents and visitors due to its scenic beauty and recreational facilities.
इससे जो है बाहर के जो आउटसाइड कंट्री के टूरिस्ट यहाँ पे आएंगे, प्रमोट होगा जो टूरिज़्म है या बॉर्डर टूरिज़्म की स्पेशली अगर हम बात करें वो प्रमोट होगा। अभी अगर हम बात करें जो ये वाटर फ्रंट दो जिनका इनिशिएटिव लिया है कमिश्नर जो हमारे डिप्टी कमिश्नर कुपवारा हैं, इन्होंने जो इनिशिएटिव लिया बहुत अच्छा है। हालांकि अभी प्रोग्रेस में ये इनका काम जो चल रहा है अभी जैसे बच्चों के लिए पार्क्स भी वहाँ पे बनाई गई हैं और बाकी चीज़ें भी अभी उस पर जो है बहुत सारा काम बाकी होना है। लेकिन हम बहुत शुक्रगुजार हैं कि इन्होंने ऐसा इनिशिएटिव लिया है इस इलाके में। खासकर अगर मैं ज़िला कुपवारा की बात करूँ, यहाँ पे जो है बॉर्डर टूरिज़म बहुत कम था पहले, लेकिन अब जब से डाइफर्ड सागर सर यहाँ पे आए हैं, इन्होंने बहुत ज़्यादा कोशिश की है कि जो बॉर्डर टूरिज़म है स्पेशली वो प्रमोट हो।
It is initiatives like these that are making Jammu and Kashmir one of the most popular tourist destinations, not just in India but around the world.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
Diggers, bulldozers and other heavy equipment arrived in a neighborhood of Baghdad and ripped up ground to lay sewage and water systems that were then topped with fresh tarmac roads and lined with neat pavements. Similar scenes have played out across the city of more than 9 million, part of a push by Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani's new government to improve basic services for citizens weary of years of conflict and government neglect. Buoyed by high oil prices, relative stability and the support of powerful political factions, Sudani has focused on quick wins to placate a largely young population who have staged repeated protests against his political backers, analysts say. The push includes improving roads, bridges and sidewalks, removing security checkpoints that worsen traffic, cleaning up facades of buildings damaged by war, and revamping parks and promenades that hug the Tigris River that bisects the city. Electricity supply has also improved, with daily cuts almost absent well into May, when they are usually the norm, though they are expected to return in summer as consumption peaks. Baghdad has also sought help from abroad. Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo was in Iraq last week to sign what she called a friendship pact with the city. Thousands of Israelis marched from Ramat Gan to the ultra-Orthodox city of Bnei Brak to protest the government's 2023 to 2024 budget, which adds hundreds of millions of shekels for the Jewish ultra-Orthodox community. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his coalition of religious and nationalist parties must approve the budget by the end of the May to avert the threat of a new election. Strained by months of unprecedented street protests, Western disapproval and plummeting polls, the government has set up 13.7 billion shekels for coalition funds, money to finance political deals with the ultra-Orthodox Jewish and pro-settler parties on which Netanyahu's coalition depends. With 64 of Parliament's 120 seats, Netanyahu's coalition appears on course to vote it through. But around 2,000 people marched in Bnei Brak to express their disapproval. State support for ultra-Orthodox institutions and community, as well as exemptions from military service, have long been an irritant to many Israelis.
With sparkling lights and beating drums, Italian luxury label Gucci took over a 14th century Seoul palace to showcase its cruise collection, blending Korean heritage and modern fashion. In a mix of street and sportswear, models dressed in surfing suits or carrying skateboard-shaped bags strutted between ancient pillars in corridors surrounding the main hall of Gyeongbokgung Palace. The show, featuring the soundtrack of Oscar-winning South Korean movie Parasite during its finale, was the first of its kind to take place within the palace courtyard. Gucci planned to stage a show at the same venue last year, but cancelled after a deadly Halloween crush in Seoul that killed 159 people. Cruise collections, originally designed for wealthy clients holidaying on yachts or cruises during the winter months, are outfits produced by stylists on the top of seasonal lines. Local residents in southern Bangladesh began to clean up debris and repair their damaged homes a day after Cyclone Mocha made landfall. Tens of thousands of people have been evacuated in southern Bangladesh, although there have so far been no reports of casualties. In Myanmar, however, at least 3 people have been killed and 13 injured since Mocha hit its western region, state-run media reported. The storm left a trail of destruction in the town of Shahpuri Dweep. Residents on Monday could be seen cleaning up debris outside their homes, which lie along Bangladesh's southern shores. The UN Humanitarian Office said about 6 million people in the region were already in need of humanitarian assistance before the storm, among them 1.2 million people internally displaced by ethnic strife.
Pakistan has never backed down from its vicious attempts to push a preposterous narrative against India. And in its bid to wage a proxy war against the country, Pakistan has been making efforts to turn the local population into extremists who are not only indifferent to their own subjugation but denounce India on any given movement. This is when Pakistan's illegal occupation of Gilgit-Baltistan and Kashmir has left the local population in shambles. Recently, human rights activist Amjad Ayub Mirza called out Pakistan over its nefarious plan. Take a look.
The people of illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan have for decades continued to endure atrocities at the hand of a stooge administration planted by the Islamic State of Pakistan. The administration in Gilgit-Baltistan leaves no stone unturned in making the lives of people a living hell. Be it stripping them of the natural resources of their land or practicing settler colonialism to wither away their indigenous identity, the local administration in hand with Pakistan appears to be committed to stealing away both their past and future.
They are trying to convert the Poonch division, the whole division of Poonch, adjacent to Indian Union Territory Jammu Kashmir, into a new jihadi base camp for launching attacks against Indian Army, Indian security forces, and create havoc in Union Territory Jammu and Kashmir. Why have they selected the Poonch division? Well, for obvious reasons that the Poonch division, Rawalakot and Kotli and all these cities and towns have been very active in opposing Pakistani sanctions, Pakistani attempts to raise and increase the prices of flour, increase taxes, implement fuel charges, lack of health facilities, broken roads, and so on and so forth. So
the state of Pakistan, upon realizing that people have been simmering up angst against them, is now back to its vicious plans of using propaganda to turn the anti-state sentiments in illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan into anti-India sentiments. To achieve this goal, Pakistan systematically targets the youth studying in colleges and indoctrinates them into hating India, their only hope for a better future. This way, Pakistan ensures that people's future remains in utter darkness while it acts as a mute spectator. The resurgence of state-funded extremist groups like Jamiyat-e-Tulba means that any call to preach ethnic or religious diversity will be discouraged and trampled upon. Their aim is to turn innocent people into terrorists who would later help Pakistan wage a proxy war against India.
Been trying for a while to subdue this movement. One of the main aims is to convert the anger of the people from being anti-Pakistan to anti-India and use jihad and use Islamic religion to transfer the anti-Pakistan narrative into a jihadi narrative against India. This is very dangerous.
At a time when the entire population in Pakistan occupied Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan are engulfed in resistance against the fascist regime, it appears that Pakistan is more interested in turning a generation of young minds into religious extremists and terrorists.
Now we take you to the Bhubaneswar city of Odisha, which is also known as the Temple City of India, home to some of the most magnificent temples like the Lingaraj Temple and the Raja Rani Temple. The city houses some of the magnificent structures in Hinduism. Recently, the famous Kapileshwar Temple in Odisha's Bhubaneswar city is to be added to the protected monuments list of the Archaeological Survey of India. Take a look.
This is the magnificent Kapileshwar Temple, which is situated in the Bhubaneswar city of Odisha. It is situated in the Kapil Prasad area, just 1 kilometer away from the 11th century old Lingaraj Temple of Bhubaneswar. One of the oldest still existing temples in the state, it is a significant place of worship for Hindus in India. The temple is being added to the protected monuments list of the Archaeological Survey of India for its preservation and better upkeeping.
एकाम्र क्षेत्र में इस मंदिर का बहुत खासियत है और सर्व पुरातन मंदिर है। आप ये जो मंदिर दिखाई देता है 5th सेंचुरी का मंदिर है। कपिलेंद्र देव ये जो मंदिर आप दिखाई देता है इसका रिनोवेशन किया है, लेकिन हमारा ठाकुर जी जो कपिल मुनि एक कपिलनाथ और इसका और एक नाम है कपिल मणि, ये 4 युग का ठाकुर है। हमार ठाकुर जी का पहला पूजक है कपिल मुनि जो सांख्य दर्शन का प्रणेता और ब्रह्मा जी का मानस संतान, और हम सब मलिया सेवायत इसका प्रमुख सेवायत है।
The 5th century old temple was renovated by Gajapati Kapilendra Dev in the 14th century. The temple is well known for its exquisite carvings and gorgeous architecture, which are the specialities of all centuries old Indian temples. The temple's presiding deity is Lord Kapileshwar, a form of the Hindu god Shiva, which is placed at inside the temple premises in the form of Shivalinga. The temple priests and local residents expressed their happiness over the decision and urged the authorities to declare Khandagiri and Udaygiri caves as World Heritage Sites.
हमारा जो आदरणीय सांसद लफराजिता सड़ंगी, इसके पास हम गए 1 साल पहले और इसको हमें सब हिस्ट्री बताया। वो इतना प्लीज हो गया कि वो मोदी जी को खुद कहा और सेंटर का जो संस्कृति मिनिस्टर है इसके पास गया और वो तुरंत पदक्षेप लिए और 2-3 बार वो मैडम हमारे यहाँ आए दर्शन जी के लिए। वो इतना प्रसन्न हो गए ठाकुर जी के पास, वो हमको मैडम हमको अवार्ड दे कि 1 साल के अंदर अंदर मैं इसको एएसआई में अंतर्भुक्त करूँगा।
The Kapileshwar temple is a fine example of Kalinga style of architecture, which is known for its elegance and simplicity. It is a well-known tourist destination that attracts visitors and devotees from across India and the world. The dominant feature of the temple is the 60 feet high temple and its adjacent pond surrounded by stone steps. The temple is a satellite of the main temple in Bhubaneswar, the Lingaraj Temple.
हजारों मंदिर और ये मंदिर में फ़र्क है, क्योंकि ये सबसे भुवनेश्वर में सबसे पुरातन मंदिर जो है उसमें से एक है। लिंगराज मंदिर से भी बहुत पुराना है उसको तो जजादी केसरी महाराजा जो उन्होंने बनाया था। इसे मैंने बताया कि कपिलेंद्र देव जो थे वो पुनरुद्धार करे थे, उससे पहले मंदिर था।
अभी आप लोग खुश हैं?
जी जी अपराजिता सडिंग मैडम जो किया ये स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को उनके पास लेके गए, उसमें हम खुश हैं जो मंदिर का ये डेवलप होगा।
According to legend, this is the birthplace of sage Kapila, who is considered as the father of Sankhya philosophy. He is also considered as the brainchild of Brahma and an incarnation of Lord Shiva himself. The temple serves as a reminder of the region's rich history as well as the profound religious and cultural roots of the people of Orissa, and therefore it becomes necessary to work towards conservation and preservation of ancient monuments like these.
It's time for me to wrap up today's episode. We'll be back next week at the same time. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on the behalf of the entire production team of South Asia Today. Goodbye and take care.